Despite what you may think, we are not related. Although we might look it, we aren't. It's actually not that. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about siblings in anime, so let's get into it. Also, we have a new intro, so check it out. Okay, so I want to do a bracket. We've done this before where we put 16 participants who go in and only one comes out, March Madness style. I'm sure you've seen videos online. They're very common nowadays. But yeah, I don't know what brought this upon. I just kind of wanted to do a bracket of siblings. Well, originally I wanted to do a bracket of twins, but there's not very many twins in anime.
We're not twinning here.
Yeah. We don't really have a criteria for this. I think it's more so like which ones we enjoy more. It's not like who's the strongest twins.
A lot of the siblings and twins that we did see are like, yeah, from things that we haven't really watched before anyways. So we didn't include them. So sorry if you're a big fan, we're not.
Yeah, there's several sets of anime siblings and yeah, we couldn't
a lot
fit
of
all of
incest
it.
too.
So if we missed somebody, just let us know down below in the comments who we missed, who you wanted to see on here. But we did our best to try to get the best ones that are the most popular ones at least, so we don't miss
We
any.
went a little broad. We tried.
Yeah. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get into it. You'll hear the representatives as we go because I don't want to give you a big list. But yeah, so let's talk about it. First matchup, we have Edward and Alphonse Elric versus Shinra and Sho. So we have Full Metal Alchemist versus, what was it again?
Fire Force.
God,
I know you're not a big fan.
I always forget. So yeah, first matchup here. I would say the 1 seed would be Edward and Alphonse. They're
Absolutely
the most popular. But we have Shinra and Sho. So I'm not a Fire Force fan, so I've not really gotten to know them. I do know Shinra.
A lot of people do.
He's cool.
He's pretty solid.
Sho himself though, which
Sho is like his younger brother who they get separated at birth. He joins the bad guy side, the evangelists as they call them.
Oh, okay.
They think they're like holy and shit. I guess they kind of are. It gets weird and crazy later on in the season. So all you need to know is that he is so fast that he can move through like space time. So like no one can really keep up with him, and Shinra has to awaken some new power demon inside him to even keep up with his younger brother. Eventually, they end up on even footing. So they kind of butt heads, but I think they kind of get like a little better relationship as they go on. But
for the most part, they're very like against each other.
Yeah, for the most part, they're not really like they're siblings, but they're enemies.
Like sibling rivalry.
Yeah, so it's not like, of course, our boys Ed and Al who are just
mesh well.
Yes.
So I would pick Ed and Alphonse. What about you? Who would you pick?
I mean, just based on myself as a person, what I like, I have to go Edward and Alphonse as well. I like Fire Force. Don't get me wrong. I do like Shinra and Sho, especially their powers are sick. I'm like, but Full Metal Alchemist on its own is just probably one of the greatest shows of all time.
Yeah, it's definitely up there, and they do have probably one of the best relationships I've seen in anime. Very healthy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they did some shit together, obviously, how they got in the situation that they're in, but I think that they have an overall healthy relationship, and they get along, and they are powerful in their own rights together. So, yeah, I would pick Ed and Alphonse. So, you agree?
I also agree.
All right.
Ed and Alphonse. Remember, these are our own biased opinions, so don't come at us in the comments.
True. All right, moving on. Next matchup, we have the Wanama twins from Blue Lock, a new entrant here, versus Para and Dox from Yu-Gi-Oh! The original series, but also in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. So
they do come back. That's right.
This is a fun matchup. Wanima, the twins, they're a little bit newer in anime. They are one is mute and the other one talks for him. And
I wouldn't call him mute. He makes noises.
Oh, that's what it is. He's like
I mean, they communicate without words, but he does make his own noises, and it's kind of like I find them very fucking creepy.
Yeah, their faces, their eyes are
they're devoid of life, and they're just creepy.
Yeah, they're weirdos, and so are Paradox. They're also weirdos.
They're in their own rights. They're a little creepy. I mean, they're pretty. I feel like they're pretty bland as far as like enemies go, but they did, especially when you're like younger in the younger days, like when we're first starting to watch anime, you're like, oh shit, this is tight. Using some of that bullshit Yu-Gi-Oh! Tax that you can't really do in real life.
It was like I think the Labyrinth episode.
The Labyrinth Wall, yeah, and they're like
I see Gate Guardian. That was sick.
My Shadow Beast, whatever that can travel the walls. My Labyrinth, you can't fucking do that.
Terra and Dox. I like them because they introduced like tag dueling, which is
yes.
It was not,
that was probably like, the coolest thing. Was just.
But as far as like. It's funny, they're both twins, so this was...
it was. I think, I don't know how we ended up... I didn't even realize that we ended up with both twins on the same bracket, but...
Who were the better set of twins, I would say.
I mean, the Wanama twins can... I mean, I think I don't... It was a long time ago, okay? Para and Dox, I don't really remember. The Wanama twins, they don't have to speak to each other. He just knows what his brother's thinking, and it makes them quite a formidable duo on the soccer field. Like I said, the Wanama twins creep me out, but I kind of like them.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about them that I like, that I just do. Paradox, it's for me. It's just like nostalgia. It's like it was one of the first things I saw. They changed the game for like Yu-Gi-Oh, which I was into at the time. I don't know. I think just because I'm such on a Blue Lock kick right now, I'm going with the Wanama Twins.
Okay, I'll go Wanama Twins too. So Wanama Twins advance. Next matchup we have Gamma 1 and 2 from Dragon Ball Super Superhero versus Mob and Ritsu from Mob Psycho 100.
I feel like this is the one where we're going to be divided.
This is a tough matchup.
Because I know you and your Mob Psycho.
I love me some Mob. I love me some Ritsu.
But we also are big fans of Gamma 1 and Gamma 2.
Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 are also cool. I think the only thing that I would say would be going against Gamma 1 and 2 is that they are not human.
That's true. They are android robots.
Down with all the AIs. No more AI art.
No, we're done.
We don't like them around here.
We're done with that. You're not taking my face.
But they are a strong duo. I did like them. They're the standouts for me. My favorite characters from Dragon Ball Superhero and Mob and Ritsu. They're another like healthy relationship. You know, for a while.
That's what I like about them.
It wasn't healthy for a little bit until like the later on seasons when
Yeah.
they finally like started opening up more. But yeah, I think overall they had a good relationship.
I like the development of their relationship. Yeah, it's just like going from nothing to something. Whereas like the thing I like most about Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 is they were like, "Who are you? We don't care. We want all the smoke. We're gonna beat your ass."
Yeah, and they're very much like straight, narrow, and like goofy, silly. Like that's how their dynamic how it works. Like Gamma 1 is very stern, and Gamma 2 is more like the fun. Like
he's the comedic relief
Yeah.
of the twin group. Everyone needs one. You know, you need a funny guy, and we need
the stern guy.
the guy.
Yeah, I like both of them, but I think if I were to lean like who would be more like a better like team, it'd probably be Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 because they work better as a team. Mob and Ritsu kind of like separate a lot, and even
I would say, yeah, if you go with that route, yeah, Mob clearly he's so much more than Ritsu, but Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 are definitely the tag team duo, and I'm a big fan of superheroes in general. So just the fact that they are superheroes technically, that's my pick, honestly. Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, a big fanboy.
I can go Gamma 1 and 2. I think it's more so because like Mob and Ritsu didn't start off as like the strongest, and at one point Ritsu kind of like resented Mob. And I think for that, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 rode and died for each other. So, yeah, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 advanced.
They did ride and die for each other.
Next matchup, we have Dabi and Todoroki from My Hero Academia. Like spoilers, I guess, if you have not seen any of the latest seasons there.
Hey, big secret, guys. We do spoilers here.
I don't know if you knew this or not, but the fire users are brothers.
It's crazy. They're related.
Who would have thought?
Who would have known?
Versus Sokka and Katara from... Oh, it's pretty funny. Fire versus water. Sokka and Katara from Avatar, The Last Airbender.
I didn't even think about that.
So, yeah, we got Dabi and Todoroki, who had no idea they were related. Well, Todoroki didn't know he was related to Dabi until this season. Versus Sokka and Katara, another like Gamma 1, Gamma 2 relationship where it's like stern and then like comedic. Like that dynamic.
I'll be honest, I have not been super caught up with My Hero, so I'm not really sure where Dabi and Todoroki are on like the relationship scale. I know Dabi's a big bad, Todoroki's a hero, so I don't know if like there's something going on, like if they're being cool with each other and like bonding over how much they hate Endeavor, or what's going on with that. So I mean, sibling dynamic already point goes to Sokka and Katara, even though Sokka will get absolutely washed.
Dabi just revealed to be his brother, and they fought right away.
They're fighting right away. Okay,
So, I mean, it's not the most healthy relationship.
I figured as much. But as far as who would I choose? Obviously, my heart goes to Sokka and Katara. Like kind of the same thing. They had the developing relationship as they went along with Aang and his travels, only getting cooler and stronger. Obviously, Katara getting better power, Sokka getting the sword, and just being a cooler guy.
I think it's pretty easily Sokka and Katara, just because they are like actually like working together. Dabi and Todoroki just kind of are related at this point. They're foes.
Again, though, Sokka would be absolutely washed by Dabi and Todoroki because he has no actual power. Katara would probably hold her own for a little bit, but Todoroki does have ice as well. So,
well, that'd be interesting to see that fight actually.
Todoroki versus Katara. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all I know is Dabi has blue flame. That's all I've seen. I don't know what else.
That's all he has. He just has blue flames.
It's hotter fire. It's all he's got the hot fire.
Ooh, Dabi versus Azula. Who'd win? But no, this matchup I think easily goes to Sokka and Katara. So
I can agree with that one.
Cool. Then moving on. Next matchup we have Nezuko and Tanjiro from Demon Slayer versus the Togoru brothers.
A bunch of demons.
Multiple, not just two this time. It's multiple siblings. There are
four?
I think like four of them from Yu Yu Hakusho. If you've not seen it, from the Dark Arc.
You haven't seen it. What the hell are you doing?
Tournament arc there ever was. Yeah. So the more famous one is probably the youngest one, who's like the buffest one that you've probably seen the most.
Younger
of.
Toguro, as he is called. We've come to find out he doesn't have a name.
Yeah, the younger Togoru. There's Elder Togoru, and then there's like two people with names. I forgot their names, but
they don't matter as much.
Yeah. As far as like siblings go, again, the healthier relationship, I would say, would be Nezuko and Tanjiro.
Who doesn't love that dynamic? I mean, Tanjiro is just the best brother. Like you can't argue with that. But the Toguro brothers, they have a good relationship when it comes to parasitic stuff because I know he absorbs the older brother at one point to become even bigger and buffer and gross.
Yeah.
At the same time.
I feel like Tanjiro is the type of brother, like the ones who are like, "Whoa, this guy talking, this guy bothering you?" Like he's super like
cockblocks. You can't take your brother out. You can't take your brother with you anywhere.
Yeah, Nezuko is like Tanjiro's kind of a creepy level. Like, hey sis, like you don't need that boy in your life. Like I
you have me. You don't need another man in your life. It doesn't really get that far, but I do agree there are some times where you're like,
it's a little, you guys are a little too close.
Let's chill it out a little bit, huh? It's like I know she's all you got left, and she's your dear little sister, but it's weird.
It teeters on creepy sometimes.
But the Toguro brothers actually get inside of each other.
Whoa.
So I think that's where it gets a little weird.
Yeah. They do betray each other, like you mentioned. One sucks up the other one.
Yep, sucks them right up.
No pause. I think because of that, I would lean more Nezuko Tanjiro because I guess I'm leaning more towards the ones who are like actually like working together. Nezuko and Tanjiro work together. The Toguro brothers kind of stab each other in the back.
They do work together, but they also die in the process.
Yeah, and but yeah, definitely more menacing would be probably the Toguro brothers because Tanjiro is so like unmenacing compared to them.
He is the nicest man alive.
He's niceness embodied. But yeah, as far as like the better set of siblings, I would say it's probably gonna go Nezuko and Tanjiro for me.
For the sake of the list, I think I'm also going to go Tanjiro and Nezuko.
All right.
I have a hard time saying some of these names sometimes. I don't know why.
It's because you are not Japanese.
That's true as well.
So let's move on for the next matchup. We have Maki and Mai, or Mei, however you want to pronounce it, from Jujutsu Kaisen, versus Killua and Aluka from Hunter x Hunter. So, Christian, I know you're not super familiar with Killua and Aluka's relationship.
I know enough. I know Killua is a very fast boy. He's got the lightning speed or the god speed, which I'm a big fan of. Lightning powers, super speed, big fan of. And that's it. And I know his brother is a big bad, I'm pretty sure. And the only thing I think
is not his brother. Aluka is his sister.
Oh, it's the little girl with the mask. Mm-hmm. The one that also is nobody?
Yeah.
That's what I thought? Yeah.
She's a split personality.
Weird.
I believe they would identify as a they, them, because they're multiple.
They, them is weird.
Yeah, but yeah, I picked them because they have a better relationship than, because Killua has his whole family, like the Zoldycks. There's like a bunch of them I could have picked from, but I think that him and Aluka have the better relationship.
The Goldycks?
Yeah, the Goldycks. Yeah, so she's like, doesn't really talk to anybody in their family because they all kind of hate her.
She only loves Killua.
Killua's the only one. So they have like the most healthy relationship, and like one of the only times you see besides with Gon that Killua is like lets down his guard and he's a little nicer than the killer that he is. And Maki and Mei, they're just two badass girls. One just has a gun. One just has the little the staff. I forget what it's called.
Nakakiba.
Yes,
I believe.
So I like them too because they're cool. I like Maki more now from seeing her more from Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. Yeah, see like her backstory. I want to see a little bit more of Mei because I feel like there's more to her than just a gun and their relationship. But yeah, that's the only problem that I have for me.
Again, sticking with the dynamic of the list.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to. Now that I know what we're actually talking about, I think we're also gonna have to go with Killua and Aluka because again, yeah, Maki may have that kind of like
butting heads.
I'm gonna kill you type energy. Whereas at least, even though the little girl is weird, they are still siblings and actually care for each other and stuff like that. So who's the older brother then?
What do you mean?
Who's the bad guy, older brother of Killua? I remember in the beginning, he's like, can I kill him? And then the guy is like, about to lose it. He's about to kill Hisoka because Hisoka's like, can I kill him?
Yeah, Illumi.
Illumi, that's thank you.
Name, yeah. But Killua is the best character from... No, I take that back. Ikalgo is the best character, but...
Which one's that?
The squid with the beanie.
Oh.
He's the best. But Killua is a close second. But yeah, so Killua and Aluka are going to advance to the next round. Next matchup, we have Ace and Luffy versus androids 17 and 18. So Ace and Luffy are technically adopted brothers, I think?
Their relationship is very strong. They have a very strong bond.
Versus the androids.
17 and 18.
Interesting. Just related because they were created together.
Yeah, this is a great match. I think it's a little bit of a better matchup where it's like you have like... Yeah, like you said, they were created to be siblings, and you have Ace and Luffy who were adopted. Which, adoption is just like creating a sibling relationship.
I guess that's true, yeah.
If you think about it that way.
But as far as like the healthier relationship, it probably... I don't know, because Android 17 and 18 were kind of like close.
Yeah, they
were evil.
Yeah. There was like, they do bicker a few times, as, most siblings do. But especially like even now, like you get into like the super stuff, like they're a much healthier relationship.
I think it's very much so like the embodiment of like I could talk shit about my sister or my brother, but as soon as you do it, then I have a problem with it. Like that's how they work, kind of like they seem to hate each other, but they would like defend each other like immediately, and I feel like that's like an interesting relationship to have, even though like you wouldn't expect them both, and as opposed to like the stern and comedic dynamic, they have like stern and stern, and they're just, it works together that way.
And then you move into Ace and Luffy, it's kind of the same thing because like they don't spell like Ace and Luffy kind of. Same thing 17, 18, when they're first born, they're younger, they hang out with each other more often. But then Ace goes off and does his thing, disappears for a while, and even now, 17 and 18 are separated most of the time. So it's kind of like a similar dynamic almost that they got going on.
But who's better? I'm not super familiar with the Ace and Luffy relationship, so I can't really speak to it. But from what I've seen, Luffy seems to get along with everybody, so I feel like they would have a good relationship. But yeah, as opposed to Android at 17, 18. Who would you pick?
I think just based on like, as far as I guess sibling relationships go, I think Ace and Luffy kind of have the stronger kind of relationship because, 17 and 18 are kind of just like, I have a brother, but we don't talk too much.
All right, so we'll get to Ace and Luffy.
It was a close one, I think. It's just like a few points separating the two teams, but I'm going to go with Ace and Luffy on this, even though I also do not know much about One Piece.
All right. Final matchup of the first 16, we have Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy. We combined them.
Plural.
If you forgot. Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy have at least 10 other siblings, and they run. Well, I guess technically, how many like gyms?
Depending on how many cities there are. For every Pokemon Center, there is a Nurse Joy.
Yeah.
And for every city, there is an Officer Jenny. At least one.
And
we know that for a fact.
The entire Pokemon Foundation, the world that they live in, is hindering upon them.
This entire sibling family line
runs everything.
First off, identical. Were they all born at the same time? Are they all the same age?
Yeah.
There are a few Nurse Joys out there that have different hairstyles.
Well, clearly they would be minutes apart, so there's got to be the older Officer Jenny by like 10 minutes versus like the younger one by 10 minutes.
Yeah, so it's like who's at the top of the hierarchy of Officer Jenny and Nurse Joyce first off? That's a question for another video. That's not what we're talking about here today.
So basically them versus Sasuke and Itachi from Naruto. Who are the better siblings?
I mean, the few interactions I have seen of Officer Jenny's and Nurse Joy's, it's actually pretty good. They know their business.
Yeah.
They're just like, we know they know what we're about, and they're on the shit. It seems like, just from like, I think it was earlier episodes. I have not watched the Pokemon anime in a long time, regrettably.
I think there's been like one episode with like multiple Nurse Jenny's. I mean, Officer Jenny's. I don't know if there's any of Nurse Joy's.
I've been mixing that up a little bit too. The only one I remember is there was like a Growlithe. Because I know that's like the staple Pokemon of the police force, the Growlithe dog, and like I think there's multiple Nurse Officer Jenny's.
Nurse Joy's and Officer Jenny's.
I'm already mixing it up. And then you got Sasuke and Itachi, who again one of those developing relationships.
It goes from like
Sasuke,
loving,
I'm gonna murder you,
to hating,
because you murdered my whole clan, to you're my favorite brother, and I cried when you died.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. Like what happened? Itachi murdered his entire clan, everybody.
And he's hated him ever since.
And you're just cool with that now?
No, he explains why he did it.
I know, but I just don't.
It's relationships.
There's lots of stuff in there.
They can evolve. You could hate your younger brother. Like, I hated my younger brother when he was little because the age gap, and it's just weird. But
fair.
then the older they get, the cooler they get, so you become closer to them.
Yeah, it's fair.
It's it's just an evolving.
Hey, man, I know you killed my mom and dad and everybody else that I knew and loved.
But you did it for a good reason.
You did it for a good reason, I guess.
And now I have a cool power, so thank you. But yeah, I think they have a very, interesting relationship when it comes down to, their entire time together. Versus Officer Jenny's and Nurse Joy's, who I barely even know.
That's the only thing is I have to go to Sasuke and Itachi because I don't know enough about the Nurse Joy's and Officer Jenny. Were they cloned? Where are their parents?
Who was their dad?
Is there a dad Joy and a mom Joy? Are they
bankrupt?
Are they related?
Because they've raised this family alone, this family of 20. Oh yeah. Ooh, what if their moms were also related?
Officer Jenny father and Nurse Joy mother?
Yeah, they were related. What if it's a big thing?
What if they're what is it? Polygamy?
Oh, what if it's just one?
It's one dad, and then there's the Officer Jenny mom, Nurse Joy mom, and then it just goes down the line.
No, I think it's what if? Oh, actually, no. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
but I was thinking more so the mom.
So one month,
one mom,
1 month,
and 2 dads.
Oh, okay.
So because maybe she.
I was going one dad, 2 moms.
Yeah. Either way, it's a weird situation, and they lose. So Sasuke and Itachi win.
We'll talk about this later.
Moving on to the Elite Eight. Here we go. First matchup, we have Edward and Alphonse Elric versus the Wanama twins. So Blue Lock versus Full Metal.
When you get down to brass tacks, Ed and Al are kind of twins too. They look pretty similar.
Just because they look similar to twins.
They look pretty similar.
There's an age gap there.
Clearly.
The height gap also.
That's not fair.
Distinctly exists.
It's not fair.
But yeah, I think between the two, we've seen more of the Ed and Alphonse relationship develop over the years, so we know a lot more about them as opposed to the Wanamas.
The Wanama twins is that they can speak without speaking.
Yeah, and
They're both equally creepy.
Yeah, and they have cool
great
eyebrows.
soccer players.
Good eyebrows. But yeah, I think that they just get washed here really easily. I think Ed and Alphonse really just...
They're just in their own elite level of brother relationship.
Shows you that even if you're a twin, you can still have
your
a worse
relationship. Shit. It's
Just
relationship is what that is.
Yeah. I would hate to be a twin. That would suck. I want to exist by myself. I don't want you to come in and exist with me.
I don't want people to confuse me with somebody else.
Yeah, that too. Okay, yeah. So Ed and Alphonse. There's always like a fatter one, so you'd be called the fatter twin. That would.
Oh, that's the worst. I'd be the short. No, I'm not the shorter one.
Yeah, you would
actually.
probably be the shorter one.
I would be the shorter one. In this relationship, I would be the shorter one.
The shorter twin. Okay.
Yeah, that's the shorter twin.
Yeah, this is the short one. We have next matchup. We have Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 versus Sokka and Katara. This is a tough matchup. Both strong contenders.
Absolutely. Very strong. Again, the only thing I think going against Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 is that they were created.
Yeah.
They are like months old.
Yes. That's
And it's like they have a strong sibling dynamic, but what's that programmed into them? Mm-hmm. That's the thing too. You gotta
programmed
think
to
about.
get along.
Programmed to get along like that. Whereas like Sokka and Katara is like they worked for that shit over years.
And they have like a real relationship. I feel like they have like ups and downs together as like siblings.
Yeah,
It's
they
more,
fight.
Yeah, it's more like real than it is Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. Plus, Katara and Sokka, none of them died. Gamma 2 died.
He
so
sacrificed himself.
they're weaker.
Hey, that's not
Objectively weaker.
No,
Yeah, so I would say just Sokka and Katara have a better, a realistic relationship.
you're giving that to them because Gamma 2 died.
No,
it's not fair.
I'm giving it to because they feel more real as siblings as opposed to Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, who you said, like, you know, they were created, so maybe they were created to like each other, so it's not as
Sokka
real
still gets washed.
as it could be. Sokka has a sword. He's a sword master.
He's
he
a
learned
sword
how
made
to be a
from a
sword
meteor.
master.
Okay, but you see Gamma 1's gun?
Gamma gun?
The Gamma gun?
Yeah, so I would pick Sokka and Katara. Are you going to disagree? Or
I will not disagree.
Okay,
I will
flip
not
a coin if you'd like.
disagree with you.
Cool, Sokka and Katara, move on.
Again, based on we're going down with AI. Get your technology out of here.
Don't support AI art.
None.
Support real art. Okay, moving on. Next matchup, we have Nezuko and Tanjiro versus Killua and Aluka.
Oh, we have a good one here. We have a big brother, little sister matchup.
We do. Oh, okay. This one we could just bring it down to who'd win in a fight. Let's just do that.
We win in a fight?
So Aluka versus Nezuko. Aluka has a power that you have to do whatever they
She says.
tell you to do.
Yeah.
So you could like kill yourself, and they're like, oh,
She would.
and you would just
Shoot yourself.
Nezuko though is kind of already dead. She can't die.
Yeah, she technically, she can also regenerate.
Yeah.
She's constantly fighting her own demons to not eat people.
Actual demons as well. She's very strong. She's very fast. Has healing factor.
I don't know much else about Luca otherwise. I know she's a split personality.
That's it, really.
Yeah, she can make you shit yourself on command.
Tanjiro, obviously, what he can do. He's breathing and demon hunting, all that stuff.
He's got powerful smells.
Versus Killua, who is a trained assassin who can go into his god speed mode.
Who's fast as shit.
So, does Killua solo Tanjiro and Nezuko?
That's the thing. Yeah, I think Nezuko definitely would beat Aluka, so long as she can keep her head straight.
I think Nezuko can solo both of them actually.
I don't think Nezuko's fast enough.
But then again, yeah, Killua's fast. He can chop her head off, and then she's
done.
dead.
Because that's what he's proven to do that before. I mean, and he can also tank poison because he took on that one bug lady.
Okay, who's the better relationship? I think they have an equal relationship. They both are very nice to their younger siblings.
Yeah, very much so.
Very much care for each other. This is a pretty even match.
This is a tough one.
I
have to go with Nezuko and Tanjiro because I don't know enough about Hunter x Hunter and the rest of their dynamic. I've only seen a few things, so I know they're very similar relationship stuff.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I have to give it to Nezuko and Tanjiro.
I think so too. I think just because, as far as fighting goes, it's a wash. As far as like relationship goes, it's a wash. But I think as far as like how iconic they are, you can't think of Nezuko without thinking of Tanjiro. You can't think of Tanjiro without the other. Very even matchup. We'll give it to Tanjiro and Nezuko.
Very convoluted, but we give it to Tanjiro.
They're more iconic. That's what it came down to.
Argue with us about that later.
Next matchup, we have Ace and Luffy versus Sasuke and Itachi.
So we have a big brother, little brother dynamic here. The only difference is that one is actually blood related. It's not an adoption.
I'm gonna go because I'm not a One Piece fan. Sasuke and Itachi.
Again, I have to go with that as well, only because this one's a little easier for me. Again, I don't know much about One Piece. Sorry, folks at home. I don't know enough about it. So I gotta go with Sasuke and Itachi because
But Itachi dies,
Itachi
though.
dies too, but he comes back.
That's true. Well, Ace maybe Ace is the One Piece.
Maybe he is the One Piece.
Who would've
that's
known?
it the whole time. We fucking take that, Oda.
Yeah.
Whatever your name is, the creator.
Yeah, I'm gonna just have to lean Sasuke and Itachi because I feel like they're more of like.
I know more about the relationship. I understand the dynamic a little better.
Yeah, Naruto's more. The series itself is more based on their relationship. Like his whole entire story arc is based around Itachi's.
His whole motivation
Yeah.
is to get his brother back.
Yeah, and Ace and Luffy is like they have a side story together. They're not like the overarching theory.
But I think they talk
whole
about it
thing.
more in the One Piece Red movie.
No.
Do they? No.
That's Shanks. I got him mixed up.
Again.
Same thing. I got him mixed up too.
There we go.
But yeah, I think Ace and Luffy's relationship can exist, but it's not the whole like story behind it. So I feel like that the relationship between Sasuke and Itachi are more important to the story for themselves. So that's why I'm gonna go Sasuke and Itachi because they are more dependent upon each other as opposed to Ace and Luffy, who are just kind of like brothers and like yeah, whatever. So moving on, we have the final four now. We have our first matchup: Ed and Alphonse versus Sokka and Katara. Another strong
We're getting into the nitty gritty now.
strong relationship here. This is the final four, of course. And shockingly, looking at the numbers, it actually is. I don't know how this happened, but the final four are the exact four seeded ones. They have the 1 through 4 seeded. There's no upsets. They've all been like no upsets. That's crazy. So yeah, Ed and Alphonse versus Sokka and Katara. Definitely both have a strong relationship between each other. Ed and Alphonse, I believe, would wash Sokka and Katara.
I want to believe so too. I feel like they can use multiple different elements.
Yeah.
Or it's
And-
like, I mean, technically Katara can too. I just don't know if Sokka can stand up to like Alphonse and Ed's like even just the weaponry on itself. If we're talking about a fight, yeah, I feel like without Katara, like if it was like one on one, Katara could probably hold her own against them, but I think Sokka would get washed once again.
It's kind of even.
It's a
but I
toughie.
feel like-
It's like
I think Ed and Alphonse have been through more in their relationship.
the only time Al ever really doubted Ed was when they fought.
Oh, the butcher
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's. I think at one point he makes Al like
question, like, why are you alive still? Like,
And he's like, he did that on purpose. He sacrificed you on purpose. Whereas, like, yeah, like Katara and Sokka, they didn't really have too many big fights. They kind of just like bicker like actual siblings.
yeah, and they have the relationship stays true throughout. They've been, I'll say Ed and Alphonse have been through more, but then it's like Sokka and Katara also have been through a lot, like losing like their tribe and stuff like
Their
that.
parents.
So it's like, ooh, I don't know. This is another good matchup.
This is.
I think it just depends on who you prefer as like.
I think this one might have to boil down to personal preference. Otherwise, it's pretty even.
I think it has to come down to same thing that happened earlier. Sokka and Katara didn't die. Alphonse died.
But he gets him back.
But that doesn't count. You can't get a respawn.
You're talking about like he's like, wait for me, I'll come back for you.
You can't
He
respawn.
leaves him in fucking the purgatory door heaven thing.
He can't respawn. He's dead.
No, he gets him back.
Yeah, I'm gonna go just for my preference. I like Ed and Alphonse more. I'm gonna pick them. What about you? Who you picking? If you pick differently, we can coin flip.
But it all boils down to Sokka getting washed by every other person.
You hate Sokka so much.
I
Okay.
don't hate him. Like
hate
I
him.
love when he got his sword. That shit was sick. Like that needed a whole sword training arc he got. I'm happy for him. I'm glad he did it. He needed something other than that fucking boomerang.
Yeah,
They
boomerang
kept
was ass.
losing every fucking time. Stop throwing the fucking boomerang.
That's all he's got. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
All right.
I was
you're-
like,
because you hate Sokka. Let's
I
just
hate
say
Sokka.
You're gonna pick Ed and Alphonse.
picking Ed and
All
Alphonse.
right. Yeah.
I'm an FMA fanboy from the beginning.
Okay, next matchup we have Nezuko and Tanjiro versus Sasuke and Itachi.
Two very different dynamics here. We have a brother who loves his sister very much and will do anything to keep her out of harm's way. And you've got Sasuke and Itachi, who at one point, for 90% of the anime, are trying to kill each other.
Well, technically, Itachi loved Sasuke.
That's true. He did love him the whole time and was just looking out for him. So
And Sasuke didn't
in a way,
realize this.
if you really think deep about it, you're like, yeah, you know what? Itachi was just looking out for Sasuke the entire time.
I don't know. I feel like just the healthier.
The health sibling relationship, you gotta give it to Nezuko and Tanjiro. It is a
Yeah.
little creepy sometimes. Again, we will.
But it is for the most
We
part.
won't let you people forget about that.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think.
Very lighthearted, very much like a good relationship between siblings as opposed to Sasuke and Itachi.
Do Sasuke and Itachi absolutely wash Tanjiro and
Oh,
Nezuko?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
From what they can do, especially now,
Yeah, Itachi's
there's
so-
no contest. They would get absolutely fucking washed. But based on sticking again with the dynamic entry, I think I have to give it to Nezuko and Tanjiro. This one's a little easier
Yeah.
for me, based against the last one. I do have to give it to Nezuko and Tanjiro. They are the best brother and sister.
All right. Final matchup. We have Ed and Alphonse Elric versus Nezuko and Tanjiro.
So you have best brothers versus best brother and sister. Mm-hmm. Basically, is what we're going down here for.
Both have died, technically.
Both have died, technically, because Nezuko is no longer human.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a good matchup. Again, they've both been through a lot together.
They truly have.
They've seen some shit.
They have seen some shit.
They look out for each other for the most part. And a fight,
That's a toughie, too, because I don't think...
probably Nezuko and Tanjiro, just because
I think Nezuko will definitely...
can't really die.
I think, yeah, she could be, because they don't really do, like... All the things that Ed can do and Alphonse can do, it involves a lot of blades, a lot of cutting,
Yeah.
chopping off limbs, punching, even like what the earth magic they do, like the earth alchemy he can do. But I think Nezuko was just going to heal through everything that they can dish out, and she's also stupid strong. Pretty much have what we grew up with,
Yeah. Versus what the kids are growing up with.
what we
now.
are growing up with now.
Yeah, this is another one where it might just come down to personal preference, because yeah, they have a similar dynamic. I feel like they're both healthy. I mean, Ed and Alphonse maybe argue a little bit more. That's natural. Nezuko and Tanjiro, she can't talk, so she just kind of stays quiet. He does what she says. He does what she says. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna pick Ed and Alphonse just because it's my preference and what I grew up on and what I like more. But I do enjoy Nezuko and Tanjiro. They both this could go either way. Whatever you pick, I'm gonna pick Ed and Alphonse. What about you?
It's really hard, but if we're going based on personal preference, I'm also going Ed and Alphonse.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What that you're gonna pick Nezuko and Tanjiro.
I mean, I would love to piss everybody off watching this video and just be like, let's end it in tie.
Who knows? Maybe you can do that if you want.
Fucking
We can end
end
it
it
in
in
tie.
tie.
This makes
Fucking-
sense. Just at the end of the day, it's whoever you prefer between these two, and for me, Ed and Alphonse. So.
Our personal preference is going to be Ed and Alphonse.
Ed and
I'm going to
Alphonse
say
are the
1
winners.
point difference between the two. It could have gone either way, honestly. So like last minute field goal. You know, there was some convoluted calls throughout the game, but at the end of the day, a win's a win, and we're giving it to Ed now. So congratulations.
They're the best siblings. Strive to be them, you and your siblings alike. I mean, don't try to bring people back. From
Yeah,
the
don't
dead
don't
and
sacrifice your
sacrifice
body
and all that
for-
stuff.
I mean, would you though?
No.
Question of the day: would you sacrifice your body for 6 suit armor like Al?
Oh, for armor?
Yeah, like
Nah,
Al.
I'll just go buy it.
Like no body.
I'll just buy it. So that is going to be the sibling bracket for you. There you go. That's our picks for who are the best siblings in anime. Hopefully you guys agree, but if not, you can comment down below who you think are the best siblings. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Follow us on all our social medias. Everything's going to be for you down below in the subscription box there. And I have nothing else to say. Do you have anything to leave us with?
If you don't, I'm telling mom.
Yeah.